Today, I'm going to try to draw these white buildings that make up the Church of Santiago in Tavira, Portugal, and hello from Portugal. It's not my first time here, maybe fifth or sixth, but it is my first time in the Algarve, which of course includes the town of Tavira. Anyway, we'll talk about that more later. For now, let's see what I can do with this church. And yeah, I'm drawing another church. If anything, this is becoming not only a theme of the channel, but it's like a tradition at this point to start off a new country with a drawing of a church. Like I've said before, in one of many other drawings, churches just tend to be some of the most striking and obvious bits of architecture. And sometimes, in some places, they retain the image of a particular town or city's past. So far, Tavira seems like a beautiful, archetypal Portuguese town, so I didn't have to look far to find something to draw. But sometimes churches can be the little bastions of beauty in an otherwise lackluster place. So that's why I flock to them so often. Right, so the drawing. As you can see, this was loose. I feel like it's been some time since I've approached a drawing this way, but with a reference like this one, with so many different planes and angles, I figured it would make the most sense for me to get everything on the paper as quickly as possible. So while I might stop to appreciate a detail here and there, my prime motive is to build out the overall structure first. Scale is also a top priority here, so matching one building size to the next. And it proved difficult. By the end, I think I do okay, but it certainly took me some time to figure it all out. And like I said, the angles and whatnot didn't do me any favors, but most of all, as you'll notice, the paper is bright, which alone is enough of a pain, but more importantly, the sun is hitting it at an angle such that the texture casts all these mini shadows. And it's confusing. I almost quit this one because I just couldn't see what I was doing. So yeah, the beginning of today's drawing was just full of hurdles, but as I kept going, even though the light never really changed, there was more for me to see, more ink on the paper, and therefore more for me to go on. So yeah, Tavira. I'm not even sure how we decided on coming here. I don't remember where we first heard about it, but we'll be here for a few weeks over the holidays, and I'm hoping I can make a few drawings while I'm here. Obviously, when you see this, the holidays will have passed because I'm a little bit ahead, and I'm using that little buffer to give myself a bit of a break. If I don't draw every single day, that's okay, as long as I'm getting out and doing enough to keep things consistent and broadly maintained. Tavira is a small town, to say the least, and while it does hold on to that, typical Portuguese flair, it's not a city. It's not like Lisbon or Porto, so there aren't miles and miles to be explored, but I think I'll have enough options to carry me through. Unfortunately, and this is entirely my fault, we're here in the off-season, so it's quiet, and then compound that with the holiday season, and, well, it's kind of a ghost town. So while drawing is still very much on the table, weather permitting, there's not much else. Like I said, my fault. Oh well, nothing to do about it now. Maybe we'll rent a car or take the train somewhere, although I'd be perfectly content just hibernating through the end of the year, if I'm honest. Speaking of hibernating, kind of, a bad segue. I was wondering about the effectiveness of this whole process. Clearly, I've improved. We've been over it, although maybe this isn't the best drawing to represent that. But had I taken the same amount of time to practice and seek education as I have to make these videos, would I be better off? I think the obvious answer is yes. And that kind of sends me spiraling, but that's a conversation for another day. But strangely enough, when I practice off camera, the results are never as good, and it's not even close. Granted, I don't think that necessarily undermines the high probability that I'd get better in the long run if I wasn't busy making content out of this process, but it must say something about the seriousness with which I take my recorded drawings. I don't know what it says, but yeah, it's something for me to chew on. Of course, to really improve, I should be doing every possible thing that I can, but this isn't the only thing I have going on, so that's really not in the cards. Anyway, hey, there we go. I don't know about you, but I think this is weird. It's a little wonky, kind of cartoonish, and boy, did I hate it in the moment. The whole light in my eyes texture debacle was pretty aggravating, which no doubt affected like everything else. So yeah, I really didn't like this. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I think it's good now. It's just better than I initially thought. On the positive side, I think the scale actually came together quite well. Overall, the drawing looks messy, but it also kind of feels like things are in their right places, generally speaking. And that's about it. So let me know what you think. Like the video if that's your thing, and subscribe to the channel to see me make more strange looking drawings like this one. I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.